Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Veracity, and in today's video I'm gonna be listing my favorite Call of Duties, or quote unquote the best Call of Duties, all the way from Black Ops 4 down to Modern Warfare 4. Obviously Black Ops 4 being the newest, and COD 4 being, the multiplayer that, really put COD on the map. I think there's 12 Call of Duties, so we're going to go ahead and start at number 12. So this, in theory, would be my least favorite, aka the worst, even though I don't have these ranked objectively from worst to best. So at number 12, we have, this is no surprise, we have Black Ops 4, right? I do like a lot of things with this game, I think the sniping is so satisfactory. I think sniping is smooth. The snipers aren't that good, but you get so much satisfaction out of sniping someone in that game, in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of no aim assist sniping. I can put up with it. Like, I didn't mind it in BO3, and I didn't mind it in World War II. In Black Ops 4, you need it because there's just 150 health. So basically, snipers, they still one hit pretty consistently, not as consistently as other Call of Duties, but with other guns, you have to put like 7-8 bullets into people for them to die. So I kind of see where it's coming from. And then obviously the cons, I got a long list. It's got no campaign. The contraband system is garbage. The whole battle pass they tried doing, the specialists ruined that game. No supply drops. I like supply drops, but it's whatever. The recoil system, I hate the predictive patterns. I feel like you just get lasered. Lack of content at launch. And you are forced to deep throat microtransactions at launch as well. And I feel like the connection is also pretty trash. I feel like I'm lacking a lot. My shots don't hit. The hit detection isn't the best. At number 11, which a lot of people are gonna hate this. I have Modern Warfare 3. The pros with this is obviously sniping is smooth as fuck. The mechanics for sniping are great, and I also really like tac insertions. And it has, a couple good maps like Hard Hat and maps like that. But cons, dude, man, you have connection is fucking trash. Support streaks, the visuals, the game is ugly as hell. And death streaks, obviously. So it's not the longest list, it's very middle of the pack. But here we go at number 10. So from here on, every Call of Duty is amazing. But this game, it's got to fall at the bottom of that, for a couple of reasons. So number 10, we have Ghost. Gunplay is incredible in that game. The sound system, I love the sound packs you get. I love the sound of all the weapons. I really like the sound of everything in that game, if that makes sense. The visual, a lot of people hate the looks of it, and you think since I'm someone who hates the looks of Modern Warfare 3, I would absolutely hate the looks of this, but that's actually not true. I like the looks of Ghost a lot, because the score streaks were, alright. I have it as a pro just because I think people, they have the wrong idea of what balanced score streaks are. I think Ghost had good balanced score streaks. That means they're not amazing, right? But they did do a little bit of work. Not amazing work, not even as good as like Black Ops 4 or even World War II. I feel like World War II probably had the best balanced score streaks. They weren't like amazing or anything like that. The class setups, I love like the pick system they have in that game. You can basically get as many perks as you want. You just have to, sacrifice a couple things. I like that a lot. I liked how everything was set up with the attachments and everything like that. The DLC was amazing. You got the Michael Myers DLC, probably one of the best DLCs besides maybe World War II. I don't know, I just really enjoyed everything that came with this game. I feel like the new maps they got were really good as well. A lot better than the launch, obviously. And then, cons, the maps are fucking trash. The maps are really, overall, the only thing holding the game back from not being a top 5 COD. Imagine putting Black Ops 2 or MW2 maps in that game. It would be fucking amazing. Number 9, we got COD 4. A lot of people are going to hate that, but you have to understand, this game was basically an experiment, right? It's really old, so it would only make sense, in theory, that would not only be one of my least favorite, not one of my least favorite, I don't want to phrase it that way, but it would only make sense for it to be the worst since it came out first. Obviously, it's nowhere near the worst, right? And I already said that this game is amazing, but a couple things I didn't like the game. I thought the maps were great, probably has, like, as far as each map goes, the best average map in that game is probably better than any other average map in any other COD. There aren't really any shitty maps in it besides maybe like Overgrown. I really like the sniping in the game. Time to kill is a bit annoying with, you know, the M16, but for the most part, it's not that bad. The visuals, especially back when they remastered it in MWR, were absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful game to look at. But the biggest reason why I don't like it is the class setup, you know. You don't have flakjack, you don't have tac mask, and those are, you know, things that I love. I love using those. I use them in every single Call of Duty. I use both of them in every single Call of Duty. I hate getting stunned, and I absolutely hate getting naded. So that's, you know, what was like a huge deal breaker to me. So it's basically more of a personal issue. You know, I love using those just because I hate getting fragged and stunned. So basically that was the deal breaker for me. So don't hate me for putting it that high. But number 8, we have Older War, right? Obviously, you know, the pros are, you have a fuck ton of weapons in that game. Even though they're not amazing, right? You know, you don't have a lot of freedom and mobility with weapons. You're usually either using an MP30. But they did have a lot of sniper rifles with the, you know, the PTRS, the Springfield. A lot more than just that, maybe 3 or 4 other snipers. Even though they weren't, you know, incredible, they weren't the best, I should say, because they actually kind of were incredible. You had the PTRS, a gas-powered and semi-automatic, whatever you want to call it. That thing hit like a fucking tank because it was meant to hit tanks. The maps had context and history behind them, which I loved. I loved that a lot. The campaign was amazing, right? To be honest, I haven't played this game a lot. I probably played it the least amount out of any Call of Duty. I have played the campaign twice to get zombies and just for fun whenever I first played the game. But zombies is really good in this game. The first time we saw zombies. So this game was pretty innovative in a couple ways. You had a lot of interaction with maps, by the way, with tanks could destroy shit pretty easily. The weapon balance was kind of fucked up. You know, perk setup as well. It had perks like stopping power and juggernaut, which, you know, I really don't like, but it's whatever. Number 7, we have Black Ops 3. So a big pro, a glaring pro, is the sniper rifles. There were a lot of sniper rifles that came to this game, and the sniper rifles at launch were amazing. You had the PO6, arguably the best sniper ever. I mean, that sniper's absolutely amazing. You had the Locust, and you also had the SVG, all incredible sniper rifles. Even though they're not all bolt, they were good. You had more sniper rifles come to the game, like RSA Interdiction, which was, you know, not the best. You know, it was only alright. It was just a really good game. You even had the XPR come to the game at the end of its life cycle during World War II, so they were still updating that game. And another reason why I liked it is because of the support, you know. And then obviously, you know, the maps were only okay. They weren't amazing. You did have a couple good maps like Rumble and Rupture and a couple maps like that. But man, the supply drop system was absolutely trash. I didn't really like the movement system, so along with that, the movement system, supply drop system kind of fucked that game in a sense. It was just a huge deal breaker to me. Number 6, we have Infinite Warfare. So basically, I'm playing that for the most part right now. Playing that, Fortnite, Far Cry 4, and finishing up some Bioshock Infinite. So those are my main games right now. But the pros is sniping. Sniping, it's got to be one of my favorite sniping mechanics in any Call of Duty. Definitely up there, top 2 or top 3. I mean, the sniping in the game is absolutely amazing. Every sniper is good. Then you have sniper rifles that are just amazing, like the Trek 50, the Harbinger longbow, the Proteus. Those are all probably top of the pack, and along with the EBR bomber. I almost forgot that. That's the best sniper rifle ever in any Call of Duty. That sniper rifle is fucking amazing. But then, you know, the time to kill and the variants kind of fuck you over, and it's not like Advanced Warfare variants, you know. I like Advanced Warfare variants, but they're a little bit over the top in this game, and which is kind of fucked because that's obviously, you know, a little snaky scheme to get you to buy supply drops, which I never have and I never will. I want to set that record. I've never bought any supply drops in any Call of Duty, and, you know, I'm never going to. It just, you know, makes no sense. Supply drops back in Call of Duty, so I don't even think I'll have the chance to. And then, you know, the movement, I don't really favor the movement. But at number 5, we have World War II. You know, pros. Obviously, sniping is incredible. The mechanics aren't the best, but the snipers, they had the Leon Field, Springfield, Car 98, and whenever you get the COD 4 perks, you also had that spam sniper rifle. I for some reason forget the name of it. You had the SDK 9mm, which was also amazing. They added the PTRS, the Mo's and the gun. Dude, they just added so many guns in this game. So as far as sniping goes, you definitely have a lot of room to move around with it. League play was retarded. The launch was retarded. The maps weren't. They were okay. The DLC maps were definitely a lot better. It just annoys me how these games come out unfinished, and Infinite Warfare basically started a trend for that, and World War II followed along. The game started getting amazing around March. Okay, so number 4 we have Modern Warfare 2. The pros are the sniping. The sniping is smooth in that game. The snipers are amazing. Even though you don't have a lot of snipers, you only have usually 2 that you use. You have the Intervention and the Bear 50 cal, which are still amazing. Maps in that game are incredible. Perk setup is pretty good for a game, pre-Pick 10 system and that whole entire, revamp of the class system. The campaign is amazing. I love special ops as opposed to zombies. I love them both. They're going to do away with that in the next Infinity Ward game, just like they did in Infinite Warfare. But I thought it was I thought it was just as good as zombies. And at times more fun, because there's a lot more variety with it, in my opinion. And obviously the cons, we have the time to kill as fast as fuck noob tubes. I mean, I can't leave that out. Noob tubes broke the game. This would have passed my number 3 spot for sure if noob tubes were never in the game. And the weapon bounce is kind of fucked. You had guns like the ACR who just tore shit up, and then a gun like F2000 that shot jelly beans at bulletproof and Tahoes and shit like that. So I didn't like that too much. And then number 3, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but oh well. We have Advanced Warfare. So obviously, pros for this. The sniping mechanics were amazing. I thought it felt amazing. The fact that you got like a double hit marker indicator for headshots, and the headshot symbol is a bit weird in the feed, so that was a bit weird. But there is a lack of snipers. For the most part you're only using the Moors, but then again you do have variants for the Moors, like the Doctor, the Silver Bullet, and probably the most popular, the Quick Bolt. But variants in this game, regardless of what anyone says, like objectively, it didn't change too much about the game. A lot of people made a huge deal about them, but they weren't so much better than the base model. Also, I thought that the game, every map in the game was great, with the exception of Green Band. I thought that map was it was pretty shitty. There was a lot of suicidal deaths on that by accident, so I kind of hated that. But getting into our number 2 spot, we have Black Ops 2. Obviously, pros in this game. The setting was amazing. A great sweet spot in like a futuristic time. A time that we're now 6 years away from, which is incredible. The score streaks put in fucking work. It was the first time we've ever seen the Pick 10 system, so that was a great innovation of Call of Duty. Obviously, it was a lot better than the class system before, where you were forced to only pick one thing in each slot. The maps were great. A couple of big maps that weren't incredible, but overall the maps were great. Zombies was amazing. Probably the best zombies we've seen. It's probably tied with Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 1. I thought it was amazing. You had things like Buried, Town, and just really iconic maps like that. Competitive was probably the best it's ever been. I thought it was great in Advanced Warfare as well. The sniping, obviously, especially at launch before the nerf, the ballista and the DSR were just amazing, literally amazing. And then the cons, I would say we didn't get a lot of DLC weapons. We only got one, and it was at the beginning of the life cycle. Sure, it was in the first 80 days of the game, but we did get a lot of amazing maps after that. You had weird sites like the millimeter scanner, target finders, and the hit detection was kind of fucked at times. So there was a lot of shit in the game that made no sense. At this time, when they came out, I was just a hardcore search and destroy player, so that's what I did a lot. And coming in at the number 1 spot, which I talk about this all the time, is Black Ops. The first Black Ops, the thing that started the entire series, and I hope that Black Ops 4 ends it because it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. But the top 3 really, are really interchanged. Pros, the weapon balance in the game was absolutely, probably one of the best we've ever seen, right next to World War II. World War II had amazing weapon balance, in my opinion. The maps, not a single bad map in this game. The big maps are incredible, like Crisis and Crack. Those maps are fucking incredible, and they're big. And that's the weird thing. This game had the most in-depth combat record we ever seen. You can look at about any stat you could ever want in the combat record. The score streaks were perfect, literally perfect. The perks were amazing. I like the perk setup. Zombies was incredible. I mean, the amount of times I've played 5 in Kinder Tone, it's got to be up there in the thousands, and I'm not even a big Zombies fan either. But then cons, obviously the number one glaring con is the connection and hit detection. I mean, they are literally trash in the game. And then I guess you could say sniper rifle variety, because you only have a couple of guns that you use. You have the L96 and the PSG, and that's really a PSG being, the semi-automatic, and L96 being the go-to bolt, which is probably my favorite sniper of all time, along with the Harbinger and Infinite Warfare. And then Second Chance and Ghost kind of ruined the game as well in some ways. Made UAVs basically useless, and Second Chance was just pretty annoying because the reaction time they bring out pistol is insane. But yeah, that's that. I know a lot of people are going to dislike this video, but you got to respect how different this top, me ranking these games are so much different than every other list. So I would like it if you guys, respected my opinion just for it being different. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but I thought, this was a really good list just because of how different it was. You always see lists where Black Ops 2, COD 4, and MW2, they're all ending the list, and then like games like Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare are starting it. So I feel like I have a better outlook on COD, or not better, but different outlook on COD. And I just don't go with whatever everyone else thinks is good. Everyone hates Infinite Warfare. That never changed my mind about the game. Now I know it's not the best, but that's how I feel. And the same thing with COD 4. Everyone loves it, and it's not my favorite game. So I feel like it's different, and I feel like this video may have been more fun to watch and more interesting just because of how different it was. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later. Peace.